Hello everyone, welcome to Galaxy Note 2 Tips and Tricks episode 4. Today we'll be discussing how to get the most battery life and the most life for your batteries. So has this ever happened to you? You look down at the status bar, you see 52%. I thought I just charged this thing. And you go to settings and then you look at it and then you realize, oh wait, okay, it's 52%, but I've used it for about 17 and a half hours. Okay, and you're kind of surprised every time being a Galaxy Note 2 owner, especially if you've come from another Galaxy device, because usually when you see 52%, it's only been about maybe 3.5, 4 hours. So I think it's great that the battery life is really good. People have been reporting even up to 2.5 days on very, very minimal usage, whereas most people tend to average around 24 hours. So for perspective, people that are getting 2.5 hours now probably got somewhere around 24 hours on the Galaxy S2, and people that are getting 24 hours now on the Galaxy Note, they probably had a hard time making it through a full days of work, with the 8 and 9 hours of work with the driving. And for one more perspective, say on a lazy Sunday you spent about 3.5 hours playing a game and you blew through the entire battery from 100%. Well, you could probably expect to do that for about 6 to 7 hours on the Galaxy Note 2. So those are really great numbers, but I want to talk about how to make that even better. And it's all about getting the best charge onto the battery. Okay, and the first thing I want to discuss is doing a deep cycle charge. What does a deep cycle charge mean? That means getting the battery down all the way to 15% or even as low as 5%. And then you start to charge. There's two really bad things you could do to the battery. You could maybe charge it a little bit at a time because you have the opportunity to give it a little bit more juice. That's not healthy for the battery. Another thing that's not good for the battery is letting it drain to 0% and then leaving it 0% for days or even weeks. I can't think of a worse way or a faster way to kill the battery. So make sure you don't do that, and make sure you bring it all the way down to at least 15% before you start charging it. Okay, and the next thing I want to talk about is different chargers. So not every charger is the same. As you can see, this is the charger that came with the Galaxy Note 2. You probably have something that looks a little bit different, but it should all be about 2 amps. Whereas the Galaxy S2 charger and the Galaxy S charger, they're about 0.7 amps. So if you haven't realized already, using an old charger is going to take a lot longer to charge. Okay, and the next thing I want to talk about is the different methods of charging. So there's about three common methods that you could charge this phone with. First method is connecting a USB cable to your computer. And if you wanted to do a 5% charge to a 100% charge, it's going to take about 8.5 hours on the Galaxy Note 2, and that's an incredibly long time. Pretty much, you're going to have to charge it as soon as you get home, and then wait until you're ready to go to work, and then unplug it. Okay, and the other method of charging is through the AC. So you're going to probably plug in your Galaxy Note 2 to the USB cable to one of these and plug it into your power outlet, and that's going to take about 3.5 hours. And the last method of charging actually is the best type of charging you could do, which is you could turn off the phone and you could do the same process, put it on the USB cable and the power adapter, or the power jack on your wall, and that will take about 2.5 hours. And the difference between turning it off and turning it on is that you're going to see that when the phone is on and charging, you'll never achieve the true 100% charge. You'll charge it to about 95%, even though the 100% might be displayed. And you could see the 100% drop down to 95% rather quickly from this effect. But you might be saying, turn my phone for 2.5 hours? Now, that's just impossible. And I totally understand. We might get emergency phone calls in the middle of the night. So yeah, if you still want that true fuller 100% charge and do deep cycle charges every time, your only option is to get a charging case. And this is what Samsung calls the spare battery charging system. It's a three-piece thing, and it sells for about $50. They give you a spare battery. It's a full-size battery. The charging case, which you could use as a dock, but there's no pins here, so it's more like a stand, and a travel adapter. And it's going to look something like this, not as exactly as this, but something like that. And I think the charging system, the charging case is absolutely fantastic, because what I really hate is just having to wait around. It's like it's that moment where I need to take off, but I want to get the most charge for my phone. So I'm just like lingering around the phone until it charges. I just think I'm just wasting my time, and you really are. So with this thing, you never really have to stand around waiting for this thing to charge at all. With this thing plugged in, you always have a spare battery 100% ready to go. It's gone through that deep cycle, and it has that true full 100% charge. And yeah, I think it's great for that. Saves you time. There's just, for this little thing that this does such a simple task, you do get a lot out of it. Okay, so to wrap up, use the right charger. Use a 2-amp charger that came with your Galaxy Note 2, and do a deep cycle charge. Get down to all the way to 15 to 5% before you start charging. And if you want to make the investment into a battery charging case, it's the same as charging the phone with the phone off, but you get to do it without having to wait around or turn off your phone. And you really get that 100% fuller, true 100% charge, meaning you get a little bit more, like 5% more battery life when you're outside. Okay, so that concludes the end of my video. I have about 50 or 60 videos on the Samsung Galaxy Note 2 doing episodes like this. So make sure you check those out. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. I'll be creating 3 to 5 episodes a week discussing topics like this, so you can get the most out of your brand new Samsung Galaxy Note 2. Thank you for watching.